As promised, once a month, I'm going to have Mother Mary Monday be Mother Mary Model Monday. And on that, whatever that Monday will be, I want to talk to you about the modeling industry, what it takes, the reality of it. The bottom line is, when we hold open calls or look at submissions, we see you. And even though we're a small management company, very focused on the fashion end of the business, it doesn't mean that we don't have a desire to help. I have a crazy curl. Help you have a better understanding of this industry, where you can fit in. Papa's being noisy. And to arm you with knowledge, because it's just like when we choose to work with a model for a minute as part of tribute or part of a model search, and then at the end we may say, we think that you're great, we don't think that we're the best fit for you, but we hope you go on to model to one degree or another. I know that those models walk away with a better understanding of how this works. And that's always been a passion of ours. That's why we created Model Truth many moons ago. And that's why this year, as part of our Mother Model Star model search, we want to really incorporate how-tos and lots of information and really pass on as much as we possibly can about this industry, about how it really works. We not only want to inspire other aspiring models, we want to inspire aspiring photographers or scouts or mother agents. We love what we do, obviously, and isn't the goal in anybody's life to pass it on? So I'm actually referring to an ebook that I wrote a few years ago that's available on our website. It's $5. And I'm going to kind of pull from some of what I wrote about in that time frame. I'm going to talk about two things. Number one, models, the fundamentals, and why the system is broken, because it is. We love football, and I don't know what it's a famous football coach. I can't remember. But at the beginning of every season, he would gather his team together and he would say, you have to start with the fundamentals. And he said, gentlemen, this is a football. Meaning, the fundamentals are the fundamentals. It's part of it. I think in today's world, people get so caught up in, I'm going to do it on my own terms, and this is how it's going to be, and thinking that you can steamroll into something with that attitude. I just don't think it works. Now, that being said, every industry needs change, and our industry has been going through what is really positive change as far as diversity and body positivity, and in the time that we've been doing this, it's changed a lot. But there's also just things that are fundamental parts that I think sometimes people don't want to adhere to or understand. And so then you're going after something that maybe isn't even the place that you should be going after it. So I'm going to start. I have 6 model fundamentals. Number 1, models are tall. Now, people will come to our open call and they'll say, I don't want to be a runway model, I just want to do print so I don't have to be tall. But the reality is, in the fashion world, those models that you see in the pages of Vogue and campaigns, etc., generally 99.9% of the time are somewhere in the height range of 5'9" to 5'11", 6 feet tall. The vast majority of the time. People would always bring up Kate Moss, and of course I will say yes, and the reason why we're talking about her is she is the one, and I'm not saying that it's impossible, but 95% of the time, and because right now more than ever, the supply and demand in our industry is so off, meaning that there's way more models than the industry demands. And there's also way more aspiring models than the industry demands. And so when that happens, an industry as a whole or a company, we have found ourselves in that position too. You can be much more selective, and it's just part of it. So for models, female, and for guys, it's about 6'1" to 6'3". If somebody doesn't fall in that, we found some beautiful guys, just great guys at 5'11". 6 feet is even sometimes just tough. It is the reality of it. And again, I'm never one to say something is impossible, but the odds are not in your favor. And those are the times where I'm like, but you have such a cool look. Have you thought about acting? Have you thought about this? There's so many things that even if it just opens your eyes up to something else, it could be good. Number 2, models are in phenomenal shape. Not good, not better than the other girls at their school or in their neighborhood. And that's the truth for both straight and curve or plus models. It's an important part of a model's job. Now, another beautiful thing has unfolded through especially in the past 4 to 5 years, where you are less, there's no hard and rigid number like there was for many years. It's just you have to be your best. And that means to be your best, you work out. It's part of it. We use the analogy of an athlete, just like an athlete at a high level has the expectation of being in great shape, and part of that is being in the gym. It's the same thing. And when you see the model rates and what a model at the level in which we represent makes annually, I think it's a fair part of the job. You're imaging, and there's a way to do things very balanced and healthy, and that is the reality of how the industry wants it to be done. Number 3, models have clear, glowing skin and healthy hair. That doesn't mean that now more than ever with social media, you can filter your face, you can Photoshop things away, but at the end of the day, when you go on a casting or a job, you need to have clear, glowing skin and healthy hair. Number 4, models discipline themselves. Just like anybody out there aspiring to anything, it takes discipline to be a great chef, to be a great artist, to be an entrepreneur, to be a student. The people that rise to the top discipline themselves. Number 5, models travel the world for blocks of time. If you don't want to travel, call it a day, or be a regional or local model, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if your goals are to be in the top levels of this industry, or even just to be a great working model, travel is the benefit. It's not the curse. It's incredible the places that you get to see. But if you don't like to travel, this is not for you. And number 6, models take good care of themselves, eat healthy, and have a healthy lifestyle. Do you know that just like in the celebrity world, you do see people that get off balance in that, and maybe it can be for a while that they're able to sustain themselves, but at the long story short, it's just part of it. Think of what the word model means. It's to model a lifestyle, to model an aesthetic. It's also can be really great to model a perspective, an attitude. The benefit of today is now with social media, you can model and inspire in a way that's way broader than the noun of what a model is. The other topic I want to touch briefly on is why the system is broken. I said it earlier, supply and demand. Now more than ever, more people want to be models, and they can title themselves as a model just by creating that facade on social media. Number 2, more agencies are opening with the promise of stardom for who they represent. There's now more agencies than ever, and we're a management company. We're not an agency. We are mother agents, we scout, and we work with the teams that we place our models with to have a vision for longevity and success, we're never going to be focused on being a flash in the pan. It's very easy to have that happen, and we're not ones to promise stardom. We give a very realistic perspective of what this is, but also if we look at someone and we see something that could be amazing and really be one of the top models in the world, which we have those models in our roster right now, it's our job, it's our responsibility to teach them properly how to do that and for them to be prepared. Number 3, more people are wanting to scout and view it as a get-rich-quick scheme. Again, with the air quotes, I'm doing it again. I can't quit doing it, honey. Which couldn't be farther from the truth. That being said, if you are somebody that is passionate and wanting to have this as a career or part of what you do, the last thing that we would ever do is discourage you, but I will tell you, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a while. It takes a good kind of 3-year gauge before you really even get somebody going. Can things happen more quickly? Obviously, sometimes yes. And our other piece of advice to anybody out there wanting to do that is, we feel the best advice, again, and I've mentioned it before, is don't show all your cards. To all those aspiring models out there, if you're posting a million pictures of you not at your best, or in overstyled photo shoots, you're doing yourself more of a disservice than you are helping yourself. Number 4, more people than ever have a digital camera they can take pictures with and call themselves fashion photographers. I don't mean to make that sound mean, but less is more, simple is best, and that is the same for every aspiring model out there. We want to see you, not as our old friend who said, he was joking about people overdoing photo shoots, and he said, and it was on our Model Truth DVD, we don't need to see a helicopter and a horse and a costume and every makeup technique that you could ever know. Simple is best. Number 5, more aspiring models have multiple social media accounts in which they call themselves models and post hundreds of, again, here I go, modeling pictures in hopes of being discovered. It's so much better to focus on the fundamentals of being at your best, taking good care of yourself, putting yourself in your social media as the fresh young age that you are, and trust that if something's supposed to come from that, it will, instead of manufacturing and filtering and doing all these other things that honestly will lead you to more frustration, and to any potential agency out there, they will feel the same. It will be frustrating. And number 6, more people than ever just want to be famous. Fame is a tricky thing, and sometimes it's the hardest part, and fame is a broad word. If modeling is really something that you are wanting to do, it should be based in the fact that you love fashion, you're fascinated by it, you want the personal growth, you want to meet and work with interesting creative people, and you want to travel and see wonderful things. That should be the end goal. If you're supposed to be in this place, trust me, it will unfold in the right way. There's a lot of big, giant agencies out there in the world, and I will say this, bigger isn't better. Sometimes those big, giant places, quite frankly, they don't have the time that it takes to really nurture and develop somebody. And I think that's what really Mother is all about, and why the success has been what it's been. We're excited about our upcoming model search, Mother Model Star. Please pay attention on our social media. Tag yourselves. We'll be doing a lot of traveling this year, but we've made a lot of discoveries just through social media. And if you have things that you'd love for me to talk about the modeling world, or things that we can share, that is the passion of our hearts, and we want to do that. We see you and we want to help you, and I hope that you have a fantastic week ahead, and we're looking forward to seeing a lot of you out there this coming Sunday at Mother Model Star. Make it a great week.